compared to, like, you know, normal experience. So pretty much overall, the main thing that really changes, there will be like many things I'll tell you, but like the main thing that really changes is, first off, you see that like the connection to the steering wheel. Like, I feel genuinely like connected to the car and all that stuff. Also, just turn the dash on because it's easier to see what's going on there. But yeah, you feel way more connected whenever you go over curbs. Like, normally I don't really care. Did I get rammed? I have no idea what the hell happened. But normally when you go over curbs, like, you know, you don't really care that much. But here, you can actually like genuinely feel hitting the curb and all that stuff. And I think I definitely avoid hitting curbs more now than before. And yeah, you can just feel kind of when the car is going into a slide. And you can really feel the difference between the cars. Like, every car kind of feels different in its own way. So those are kind of the first things you'll realize. Also, going over bumps, you'll be like, normally you don't really care on controller, but here you will. And you'll also probably realize a big thing, and it's that you get worse. You get worse. Like, say you're trying to do, I'm not sure, try doing like a race you were able to do earlier, or a police chase. You'll realize that you're worse at it. But eventually you'll get better, and it's definitely worth it. So some of the next things you'll realize is, oh god, I can genuinely feel it. Normally I wouldn't care if I hit a curb. Some of the next things you realize is, well, probably you're driving not that safely, right? So you'll probably like eventually just like, I'm not sure, maybe crash, maybe gets like some steering damage. Let me try getting that here. So let's just side swipe into like this barrier here. Well, you get some steering damage, but then you realize how different the steering damage is, and the damage feels much more connected. Let me just try hitting the gas here. So first off, with steering damage, normally on controller, when your steering's damaged, the car pretty much just doesn't really, it forces the wheel to the middle, obviously, because that's where your thumbstick is, and then you constantly have to like pull to the side. Middle, pull to the side. Middle, pull to the side. That's what it looks like from the interior here. Here, the weird thing with steering damage is actually it doesn't really have a pull to the side. Like, look, I'm driving perfectly straight with big steering damage. What happens is that the wheel is just no longer centered normally with steering damage. So like, again, I have pretty big steering damage, but it's honestly affecting me less than usual. That was unintentional, but like, it's not affecting me that badly because pretty much I can still go in a straight line due to the fact that it just kind of, the centering point is different. That's kind of the only difference. Like, look, again, here, see the wheel center is there, and it doesn't really have a pull to the side. I'm not touching the wheel. Like, it has a slight pull, but like, very different to what would happen on controller. So yeah, pretty much many of those stuff happen. Also, again, with damage what I said about connected to damage, like right now if I go to reverse, from time to time the wheel shakes and all that stuff because many stuff happen, and stuff you might actually not realize are happening might actually happen. Like, I'm not sure, in this car, say sometimes I hit, like, I'm not paying attention, I hit like something, it starts slowing me down, I have no idea why. Like, say I hit debris, a bumper maybe, or something like that. I won't realize what happened, and I have no idea why the hell the car's slowing down, you know? But here, that was a bad drift. But here, you'll realize that, like, something's wrong, something's off. Why is it so hard to turn the wheel? You'll realize, like, many of those things, and then it'll be just, like, very weird feeling, but, like, yeah. You just realize that many stuff, like, why is the wheel feeling so weird? You'll feel just so connected to, like, all the stuff. You'll know that something's off with your wheel, instead of normally, like, the car's slow for some reason. Here, you actually, like, oh, I must have messed something up. Yeah, so, like, many of that stuff, you're way more connected. Realize that sometimes you also have issues not centering the wheel. That happens to me sometimes, like, you just put the wheel like in a certain position, but then you realize it's not centered after a while. So yeah, that'll happen. Pretty much, here's another thing. It's like kind of crashing thing. So pretty much, if I get some steering damage here, bad steering damage, like very bad steering damage. And let's go to reverse. Okay, we're stuck on the pole here. Wait. Recover vehicle to last road. Look. So here, let's just brake. Go on the brakes. Here. Actually, this might be one of those examples where it doesn't really happen. Oh yeah, here. It kind of, the wheel locks up around here while the real steering angle is like all the way here, but I actually have to push to get there. It gets kind of hard to push past this certain point. Which is like, which just kind of connects you even more to it, you know? It's just like many stuff like that that you didn't really know. Like on controller, you're able to rotate the wheel, I think, past its physical limit. Here you aren't able to do that. The wheel just gets stuck, and yeah, it's super hard to turn. And I think like it actually doesn't turn anymore, but just the wheel I'm using, which is a Moza R3 by the way, is just, I think, too weak to stop it. But like in real life, you just couldn't turn the wheel at that point. So yeah, let's just drift past this. Oh god, that was the worst drift ever. But you'll also, another thing you'll realize is that different cars have different steering angles and different feels. So let's just pick up a different car. Let's go with the Hirochi Orada. Replace current. Let's try this. So start the car. Is this a manual? Please tell me this is a manual. Okay, then. But yeah, this feels very different to the wheel. It feels like twitchy. Just feels weird. The steering's the steering feels notchy, which is like normally what happens in cheaper wheels, and it's not like supposed to happen, but here it's like notchy on purpose. Yeah, so it just feels weird and stuff like that. And yeah, you can just feel the notchiness and all that stuff. But another thing is that the steering range of motion, let me just pull off to the side here. Oh god, the steering wheel on this is so tiny. But look, that's all I have. Look at that rotation. Remember on the last car, I could like spin around, I think 2.5 times. Here I can't even do a full spin to either side, because the centered, this full lock. So yeah, less than a full spin. That's like, I think GT3 cars have that. Yeah, as far as I know. Oh god. Another big difference with a wheel is that you actually you kind of try avoiding crashes more, but also you use interior cam way more. As you can see again, one of the big differences, like one of the reasons we like exterior cam isn't only like the view, it's also that, you know, we can rotate the camera around. But with a steering wheel, obviously we can't really rotate the camera around, so what happens is that I just kind of use the steering wheel, like, since I can't rotate the camera around, obviously I just use the interior camera way more, because it's immersive, and that's kind of the point of the wheel. And it's also like, you know, you can't turn it around, so there's not that much of a point. You can like see the cars from different angles anyways. But you can, I still sometimes mess around with it, but like, you know, way less. Another thing you'll also notice is that I'm saying this all Beamng, but a big thing is that you actually like sim racing games. Or personally I did, and most people do. So pretty much sim racing games. You might have tried them on controller or keyboard, and you might have been like, oh, I don't like that. What the hell? That kinda sucks. Why the hell is the car spinning out randomly when I lightly tap the stuff or something like that? I'm not sure. I found it personally very annoying how the car just sometimes randomly spun out in random areas. Like, what did I do wrong? All I did is turn the steering wheel a little extra. If you don't want me to do that, then just, you know, don't make the cars be able to spin out. But as soon as I got a steering wheel, I actually really like realized like all the stuff, and I also realized that it's kind of on me. Oh, what happened? All those stuff. I kind of realized that Oh wait, that was all that was actually on me, and like I wasn't frustrated at the game. I knew it was my own fault. Like I know that like if I spin out, there's like you can feel when the car is about to spin out. So if you're like, oh, let me push it past that, then you realize that it's your fault. And also drifts are easier to catch, kind of, not really, but like in sim racing games it's easier, but for some reason Beamng it's harder. I have no idea why, but I guess that's the way it is. So let me just change vehicles again and show you another thing. So if we go to vehicles here, we can go to like, let's go to the Shivetta Shinti Lashi Shivetta Boy Light. Should show this off more. Let's go to a race car. There you go. So now, in this car, how much steering angle does this have? Oh, this has still not full steering angle. I think this 900 degrees. Yeah, 900 I think. Anyways, let's just start this up. I like lighting up the dash because it's easier to see, although it doesn't look that good on this car. Oh wait, they started the engine? Okay, so it's the manual. Yeah, it is. Well, with the steering wheel, it feels, actually not this car, wrong car, but in some cars with the steering wheel, normally race cars, like in other games you'll also feel this. Like look, if I go to first gear here, it's hard to turn the wheel. Like in a GT race car, it's pretty much I think a GT race car, it's hard to turn the wheel. Like it's, you actually have to use force. Same in like GT racing, which is the main sim racing title I play, which is Assetto Corsa Competizione. Oh god. But yeah, it just feels very different, and you feel way more connected to the vehicles because they have their own little like behavior stuff. This one also wants to spin out. Oh god. Yeah, so pretty interesting. And now, like, probably again, I have had this steering wheel for about a week now, and let's just do one of these. So what should I do? I just want to show you like the difference with a steering wheel versus normal gameplay. Let's just go. What should I go with? Let's just go something like, oh yeah, here's the best thing. Let's just go rally mode, which... So here we are, guys, in a rally car. I've done this mission quite a bit before, so I pretty much know the track layout. Oh god, that was an early shift. And where to turn, actually so I do play with shifting on, but let's just like make it more balanced. I'll turn off shifting. I'll make it like automatically assigned, so let's just like kind of drive here. So normally even on a bad run I would get below 2 minutes. Let's see if we can do that here. So what I realized is that I can't really drift this corner well on wheel at all, which is weird. Oh yeah, I'm using arcade, which is weird because like you hit the brakes hard enough. And I'm just doing this to simulate closer stuff because like I'm not great at shifting yet, especially in this game, so I want to make it as close as possible. I'm gonna try this 3 times maybe, but like the point is that just to show what my times are here after a week of owning the steering wheel, and probably maybe 5. With time and patience, you probably will get better with a steering wheel. Probably even better than controller because you just probably play more. But like at the start, don't expect to be like better at the start. You won't be. And if that's all you want and can't put in what like, it's not a complete plug and play experience, but it doesn't take that long to set up. Just like another thing with steering wheel, I wouldn't recommend it if you have like absolutely no toggle. But if you don't have that much money and like it's a big investment for you, but then like you have like a lot of work or school or whatever, and like you can play for at least like 2 hours a week. Like if you don't have time to play for 2 hours a week, on average, like you don't have to play every week obviously, but like if you can't even play like 2 hours a week on average, actually that wasn't that bad, minute 50. It's like my old averages, but yeah, if you can just play Oh god, let me turn off arcade gearbox. But if you can't play for the hour on average or whatever, just stay with controller, honestly. But if you could, if you have the time to put into it, the time to invest, here's my runs, by the way. Here's my old runs here. So as you can see, I got 1 minute 42, minute 43 before, minute 53, which was, I think, this one my more first runs. I actually got slower time. So you're not that much worse, but you will be worse, just a little warning. So overall, I would say that get a steering wheel if you have the time to do that, and save up for the Moza R3. At least if you live in Canada here, the prices are great for that. Again, only $50 more than Logitech G29. Buy from Canada Computers, that has great prices. It has like big deals and stuff all that like that. But yeah, pretty much I would really recommend getting a steering wheel for this game if you have if you have like a bunch of money, it's not a financial loss, then I guess you can just keep the steering wheel just for fun. But most people, it's a pretty big financial thing, so including me. So I would say that if you have, again, time to put into it, then go at it. And also, if you enjoy sim racing, if you don't enjoy sim racing at all, or yeah, if you don't enjoy sim racing and all that stuff, I wouldn't recommend getting it just for Beamng, unless, again, money is not much of an issue. But yeah, because the main thing I do now is sim racing. So anyways, just get a wheel if you have time and money for that. If you don't, save up if you really have the time for that, really wanna do it, and the patience. It's also not that easy. Again, you get worse for a while. And if you have the time and patience, get a steering wheel. If you don't, just stay on controller. Please go from keyboard to controller. I'm begging you, please don't stay on keyboard. It's a worse experience. Get at least a cheap controller. I have PS5 controller that I got on sale, but like, you guys could use pretty much everything. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Also, please like and subscribe. I'm a tiny YouTuber. I want likes and subscribers so my content goes out to more people. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye bye.